adult member of the Jewish people. So now I call you, Noah, to the Torah. Ya'amod, 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 Noah Chaim ben Shoshana, le'aliyah shlishit bar hamitzvah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torto. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayidaber Adonai El Moshe Lemor, Daber El Aharon Ve'el Banav Lemor, Ko Tivarechu Et Bnei Yisrael Amor Lahem, Yivrechecha Adonai Ve'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, v'samu et shami al b'nei Yisrael, Ve'ani avarechem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Shkach, very well done. So now you can take a breath now. We're going to pause in our service with our hearts opened by those words of Torah and take a moment to ask for God's healing presence for all of those who are in need. Some are in the hospital, some are at home recovering, some who have diseases and illnesses from which they may never recover. This week we think especially of Sandra Slovin, Sophia Kramer, Marcia Heisler, Elizabeth Jonas, Stacy Young, Harriet Jacobs, Gail Kahn, Larry Katz, Kathleen Sable, Randy Kennedy, Jonathan Waller, Catalina Deltet, Gary Swartz, Sheila Schneiderman, Tom Bradford, Janelle Nichols, Laurel Phoenix, Robert Cohen, Brianna Jacobs, David Sankey, Stanley Bissell, Rena Fields, Richard Jacobs, Brooke Jacobs, Carolyn Eisenhart, Larry Futterman, Marty Barish, Gary Paul, Brian Berger, Chandler Jacobs, Yael Bat David Valea, Alan Friedman, Sarah Kahn, Lee Silverstein, Jill Van Team, Eleanor Goodman, Libby Routman, Marjorie Whitmore, Jerry Phillips, Paul Kershon, Reva Fisher, Leslie Knight, Bert Singerman, Mateo Velasquez, Max Jacobs, Kathy Waldner, Richard Zuspin, and Christopher Denton. If you are thinking of someone who is in need of a prayer of healing, I invite you to share their name with the community as my eyes meet yours, or if you are online, to add their name at this time to the chat. We ask for God's healing presence to be with all we have named and all we hold in our hearts. We also ask for God to watch over and grant healing to victims of violence around the world. May they be blessed with healing, hope, and love. We also ask for God to watch over those who care for the sick each day. May their hands and their hearts be blessed with wisdom, compassion, support, love, as we ask for God's healing presence to be with all of them and all of us, as we sing together these words of blessing in the middle of page 371.
Mi sheberach avotenu mikor abracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We turn back in our prayer books to page 370 as we prepare to lift and dress the Torah. And to raise the Torah in Hagbah, I'd like to call forward to the Bima Josh Rosenbaum. And to dress the Torah, I'd like to invite forward Simon Thompson and Gabriel Rosenbaum. And I'd like to invite everyone to please rise. Yamdu ha-magbia v'ha-golelim.
Vezot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Yalalai la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
In addition to reading from the Torah, Noah is also going to read a Haftarah, an additional reading that comes to us from the books of the prophets. Specifically this morning, we get our reading from the book of Judges. And the reading this morning, you can follow along with the English on the same piece of paper that had the English of the Torah reading. The Haftarah thematically matches the ideas, or some of the ideas of the Torah portion, because the beginning part of Noah's Torah reading was about the Nazirite, those who make their vows and dedicate their lives to God. And the book of Judges reading that we have this morning speaks specifically of one particular Nazirite, that is Samson. So we turn to page 372 for the blessing as we turn now to our Haftarah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar ben v'im tovim v'ratzah v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'imviei ha'emet v'tzedek. Vayehi איש אחד מצרה, ממשפחת הדני, ושמו מנוח, ואשתו עקרה, ולא ילדה. וירא מלאך אדוני אל האישה, ויאמר אליה, הנה נא את עקרה, ולא ילדת, והרית, וילדת בן, ועתה הישמרי נא, ואל תשתי יין ושכר, ואל תאכלי כל טמא, כי הנך הרע, וילדת בן, ומורה לא יעלה על ראשו, כי נזיר אלוהים. יהיה הנער מן הבטן, והוא יחל להושיע את ישראל מיד פלישתים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, סור כל העולמים, צדיק בכל הדורות, האל הנאמן, האמר ועושה, המדבר ומקיים, שכל דבריו אמת וצדק, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הנביאים, ועל יום השבת הזה, שנתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, לקדושה ולמנוחה, לכבוד ולתפארת. על הכל אדוני אלוהינו, אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך, יתברך שמך בפי כל חי, תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen. Shakach, very well done. Now we've read Torah and Haftarah beautifully for us this morning. It's now my privilege to ask you and invite you to become our teacher and teach us your words of Torah.
This week's Torah portion, Parshat Naso, is about God telling Moses to sort all the tribes and clans by their ancestral houses and for them to work on the different parts of the tabernacle within their different groups. Each person had different jobs, and this is important because although they're working on different parts of the whole project, and even if one person could be seen insignificant on their own, a lot of people can build the tabernacle faster and better as a community. This makes me think of how one ant would not be good at building a colony alone, but a lot of ants are really good at building a colony together. Ants in a colony have different jobs, like working on the structural part and defending the colony. Although the ants have different jobs, they are all working for one common goal, and that is to let the colony prosper. During the summer of 2020, while we were stuck at home during the pandemic, I would read books about animals while laying on my hammock outside of my backyard. This is where my fascination for nature started, and it was this fascination that led me to my mitzvah project with Fur Kids. Each Saturday, I spent time volunteering at the Fur Kids cat shelter. One time I was volunteering at Fur Kids, I got to socialize with van cat kittens. Van cat kittens have beautiful white short hair. Socialization is when a person feeds a cat a special treat to get them more used to humans. A few weeks after I socialized with the two Van Cat kittens, I got to see them get adopted, and it was very gratifying to see that happen. While at Fur Kids, I noticed the lessons from this week's Parsha in action. Just as the Israelites worked on the tabernacle with each person taking a different job, the same thing happens at Fur Kids. I noticed that while I was socializing with the cats, volunteers were cleaning cages, and others were giving the cats water and food. In both situations, everyone had different roles, but they all had the same motivation to help where needed. We all have the ability to take on different roles in making the world a better place, whether by cleaning up the environment, helping those in need, or doing small deeds of kindness that have a huge impact on people. Being connected with nature, doing mitzvah, and working with other people as a collective are all important lessons I've learned from this portion. I would like to thank Rabbi Jordan Ottenstein for teaching me the meaning of becoming a bar mitzvah and helping me with my Devar Torah. Cantorial soloist Mike Zuspin for all of his hard work in assisting me with my bar mitzvah studies. Susan Grossman for teaching me my Torah and Haftorah portion. Jeannie Allen for scheduling my tutoring sessions. My mom for loving me and supporting me every step of the way. My dad for guiding me to what I want to be in life. My brother, Simon, for always having my back. Tyler Chenault for showing me what it means to be a Jew. Mary Cohen for tutoring me since I was 8 years old in Hebrew prayers. I would also like to thank everyone who has come to watch me become a man. And lastly, God for supporting me throughout my whole life up to this day. Shabbat shalom.
Good Shabbat.
Shkach kol hakavod, very well done. Thank you for teaching us such a wonderful teaching. Mike actually leaned over and said he thinks this is, and I agree with him, the first time we've heard about ants in a discussion of the Torah portion, and it definitely brought a new meaning to it, and it was wonderful, so thank you. We're now going to turn in our prayer books to page 374 as we prepare to return the Torah to the Ark, and I'm going to invite Elaine Burrell, Heather Morton, Barbara Knopf, and Molly Knopf to the Bima to open the Ark, and I'm going to invite the entire congregation to please rise. Yahalelu et Shem Adonai ki niskav shemo levado. Let us praise the name of Adonai, for God's name alone is exalted.
Odo al eretz v'shamayim vayarem keren li'amo tehila lechol hasidav livnei Yisrael am kerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Et chaim hi lamakazikim ba betom me'ushar deracheha darchei noam v'chol netivotea shalom. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh, Chadesh Yameinu, Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
Please be seated. Noah, mazel tov, yasher koach, kol hakavod, congratulations, and a job well done. I know that Mike and I join your parents, your family, all your friends in saying how proud we are of you for all the work you've put in and what you've accomplished this morning in reading from the Torah, but not only that, in teaching us and in bringing us a wonderful lesson about what you found in this Torah portion. I want to focus on something a little bit different in the Parsha this morning, the part about the Nazirite, this person who would be dedicated to God, who would take a vow to dedicate their life to the service of God. And there were ways that they would show that they were doing this. One of them was they wouldn't get a haircut ever. So you had long hair and long beards, and there were other ways too. But ultimately, this person would dedicate their entire existence to God. And I started thinking about it as both of your parents were mentioning your focus, that you have that drive and that focus to really channel in on something, to be the best at it, to do what needs to get done, to learn something, and to create all of these brand new things. And that's a wonderful trait and a wonderful thing to have. And it connected to me this idea of dedicating yourselves to something, whether it's to God or writing a Star Wars story. But the dedication is what's important. And as you go through your life as an adult member of the Jewish people from here on out, that dedication will serve you well in your Jewish life, in your greater life, as you bring your spark of holiness, your joy, your goodness, and your passion and your focus to the world to continue doing the mitzvot to make this world a better place. So I want to once again wish you mazal tov, congratulations. It's now my privilege and my honor to, along with the cantorial soloist Mike Zuspin, to offer you this blessing from God that comes from this week's Parsha. So if you could open the ark, I'm going to ask the entire congregation to please rise. And I'm going to ask all of us to place our hands over Noah so we can ask for God's blessing.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you safe.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha.
May the light of God's smiling face shine upon you and be kind and loving to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
And may God always bless you with the most precious of all gifts, the gifts of shalom, of health and happiness, joy and peace. As together we all say, Amen.
Amen.
We're going to remain standing, and I'm going to invite everyone to turn in their prayer books to page 586 as we face east for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, latet gedula liotzer bereshit, shehu noteh shamayim v'yosed haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shchinatu zo begove meromim, hu Eloheinu einod. V'anachnu koreim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo Ushemo echad.
Yesh kochavim shoram magia arza. Rak ka'asher hem atzmam avdu ve'einam. There are stars up above, so far away. We only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. At this sacred moment of our Shabbat morning worship, we think longingly and lovingly of those taken from us both recently and at this season in years past. We are in a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days since her funeral, of Julie Butler. And we mark the Yortzites, the anniversary of their passing on this Shabbat, of Albert Berger, Sheila Barbara Berman, Helen Brenner, William Cohan, Leonard Greenfeld, Myrna Hammerling, Murray Hochberg, Ted Kopkin, Jim Lane, Muriel Merlin, Nathan Schuler, Lenore Schindler, Edward Skyer, and Scott Sabin. And Noah, at this moment, this special moment in your life and the life of your family, we remember those who are no longer with us, but whose spirit, while felt always, is especially felt due to their absence at this moment. We remember Ruth Knopf, Hyman Knopf, Max Rosenbaum, Belle Rosenbaum, and Norman Knopf, who passed recently and had been planning to be here today. If you are remembering someone on this Shabbat, I invite you to share their name with the community as my eyes meet yours, or to add their name at this time to the chat. Zichronam livracha. May all of their memories continue to be a blessing as we take all of their memories into our hearts, along with the millions of our people who have no one to say Kaddish for them. We now rise as one community, turning to page 598 for the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'almad yivrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'gala u'vizman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam elamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort to all the bereaved here and everywhere with the blessing of peace. Together we all say, Amen.
Ose shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru, Amen.
Our closing song can be found on page 626. Please join us in singing Ein Keloheinu.
Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mi Keloheinu, Mi Kadonenu, Mi Kemalkeinu, Mi Kemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
Please be seated. Now I'm going to ask you to come up one more time. You don't need your book at this point. But now, in a moment, we are going to conclude our service with Kiddush and Motzi and a closing benediction. And there's a number of people here who are going to want to say Mazel Tov to you, who are going to want to say congratulations for a job well done. And Just a guess, you might get a few gifts today. But we really want the first words of congratulations and the first presents you get to come from your congregation and your community. So I'm going to ask Janet Mann, a member of our board of directors, to come forward so that she, on behalf of Congregation Dor Tamid, can wish you Mazel Tov.
Honored to do this, Noah. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. I am so honored to be here because I have seen you grow through the years with our little crew, and you did an amazing job, amazing job. This is a proud moment for your parents as well as your family and friends. On behalf of Congregation Dor Tamid's Board of Directors, as well as our Sisterhood and Men's Club, we'd like to congratulate you on your wonderful job leading the service today and becoming a bar mitzvah. Mazel tov. You did a superb job reciting your prayers and chanting your Torah reading. It is our pleasure to present you with gifts. The Board of Directors would like you to accept the Tanakh. That's this one. Ooh, ah. There you go. Which is the Hebrew Bible, as the foundation of your Jewish studies and continued learning. It is personalized with a book plate that commemorates this milestone in your Jewish life. And we hope that as you continue your Jewish learning throughout your life, this will remind you of your accomplishments today. We expect to still see you around the halls here, okay? The Sisterhood and Men's Club would like you to have the tzedakah box. So here's another one. Hold everything. There you go. We hope that you, it's okay. We hope that you will remember the commandment of tzedakah in your home and continually put money aside for those less fortunate than you, and for those cats too. Please keep these gifts through the years to remind you of this joyous day in addition to your commitment to Judaism. I would also like to present, don't have to worry about holding on to this one, with your bar mitzvah certificate and with the gift certificate from the Union for Reform Judaism, both here. This will be used to help fund a future trip to Israel. Help fund. Okay. Once again, Noah, we extend our congratulations to you and your family on your hard work over these past months and your accomplishment today. Mazel tov to the whole family. We look forward to your continued participation in the Dor Tamid community. Mazel tov. There we go. Sorry.
So now we are about to conclude our service, and this time I'd like to invite Josh Rosenbaum, Gabriel Rosenbaum, Susan Burrell, and Simon Thompson to come to the Bima for Kiddush, and Barbara Knopf, Molly Knopf, and Elaine Burrell to come to the Bima for Motzi, as we all turn to page 604, and we rise. Noah.
V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. על כן ברך אדוני את יום השבת ויקדשהו. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. לחיים.
We now uncover the challah as we sing together.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.
And as they have a first piece of challah on behalf of all of us, we ask for God's blessing. Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'yekol v'nei adam b'shalom. May God give strength to our people, and may God bless all of us, all Israel and all creation with the blessing of peace. As together we all say, Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Good Shabbos.